Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks, part 2 of this. When I emailed the gentleman to show him what I was thinking on this part, he had actually sent a Corel file and I did not see it. So he kind of did what I did. I like his, and I like the new top is, maybe you're going to, I don't know how he does stuff. He's going to carve stuff into this. So I thought in part 2, and maybe this will be the last one, he needs a negative space for this to, because if you cut this out, the letters are just going to fall out. First thing I'm going to do, these two letters are so close, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Now, it's a text, so you got to go to Object and convert it to a curve for the virtual segment delete key to work. So that becomes one letter. And now this is just a suggestion. I would, instead of having a top bar and a bottom bar, I could quite possibly think about using the letters themselves. So holding down the control button, I didn't get them both. Select both of them, hold down the control button and move that over. And then when you cut that away with the virtual segment delete key, you get that. Now, this is just a suggestion, and realistically, you might not have to do them all. Because it's going to be it's depending on the metal and whether he's going to, if he cuts this out of one kind of metal and bonds it to another type of metal, he wouldn't need to do this to all of them, but you could do it, and you could basically do it halfway or all the way from each one. And then, of course, you would want to take out these rough spots. Maybe we'll do that in just a second. I'm not doing a very good job. Select those two nodes, hold down the control button, and you get perfect, or at least closer. We're going to still take out those bumps in the road. That looks pretty good. I think it will be readable. That's the problem with always doing something like this, making it where it's still readable. Now, this is a little bit far-fetched, but like I said, I think it's going to hold together. So I'm not going to do them all, and then maybe he can pick then what he needs to do. Now, on this one, I don't guess it really matters if you go all the way with one or the other. This might be one of the ones you wouldn't want to, if you did that, if we do that to the Y, you've kind of taken away let's see if it's readable, I guess. I think it's readable. And then here's how you're going to attach it to the side of the belt buckle. So it'll, basically, if we don't do that, it'll fall out. So holding down, I'm actually going to go past it this time, and then take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. That's going to hold the belt buckle in. Now, if we separate, or if we do the letters on the bottom, all of them, then I think you're going to have to do bottom and top. Now, this is a little bit different because we've got a curvature we're working with. So let's try the 3-point curve line and go like right there and give it a little bit of a curve. He evidently draws in yellow. I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to hit F12 on the keyboard and change it to red. And also, he's using CMYK, and that's fine for what he's doing, I guess. I draw everything in RGB, and just give that a little bit of a curve. Kind of match the letters. Then when we take that away, see, that's going to make it all one piece. And I'll show you in just a second when we kind of finish this. And I'm not even holding down the control button anymore because I'm going to have to go through here and fix these. So we've got a gap there, and he could definitely fill that in, but I think depending on, the thickness of the metal, and there's almost got to be a backing, to this. So I did something wrong. Sometimes you can go past and stop that from happening. I think this is going to work. Now, I once again would use the 3-point curve line to give it just a little bit of a curve. I mean, just a tiny bit. And I think in just a second, he'll see what I'm talking about. I'm just going to move these over. And then you could pick whether it's going to be readable. I think with the S, it'll still be readable. I'm going to go a little farther. And that you might want to take a curve to. Now we just need to, it's a shame to use the whole part of the S, but right now we're just going to do that. You could actually use like a little smaller piece in there. And we don't have anything hold, and this is where he can pick, whether they're, like on the thickness of the metal, does it need something to touch here? You could always, I'm not going to do it, but you could always just take a rectangle and just have a small piece of metal and go like that. And then that secures that to that. Now, let's see what this looks like. And I'm going to take away his other text for right now. And he did exactly what I was thinking about doing. Now, take the Smart Fill tool. We got a little leak, right? No. Yeah, we do have a little leak. Something's leaking somewhere, and that really bugs me. I don't know where it could be. Take a 2-point line, 3-point line, it doesn't matter. See, it's not leaking there. It's leaking somewhere outside of this top. So let's take away this, and we know that it's not leaking, and let's put this is an easy way to find it. See if it's leaking in this corner. Nope. It's leaking somewhere down in here. Let's back up here and get rid of those items. It's got to be leaking maybe where I drew my new line. One thing we can do, quick fix, grab it, take the shape tool, grab all these nodes, go up to Windows, Dockers, Join, Curves. I've got mine set on 0.1, but it doesn't really matter. Now it should not leak. There we go. So I don't like that. But everything else looked pretty, and I think even you could even bridge those points and maybe even change this up a little bit. Maybe, take this, and this is just suggestions. Maybe you could do something like this and not have that big gap in there. You'd play around with that. Let me do this one more. Let me Smart Fill it one more time to make it solid. Then we're going to nudge that over. And we're going to left click, right click. Whoop. Left click, right click. He's got a yellow box over here. So let's just move it out of the way. And then this is where you could, take your Smart Fill tool or your smoothing tool. Well, that's way too big, 0.25. And you could smooth out places like that. And across the top where we had those couple of little bitty joints, that's just an extra line. But see, like right here, you got a little bit of a hiccup. So what I would do in that case is just to take the shape tool and just delete them and make sure that line just doesn't jump. Because you want basically a straight flat line across there. Take all the nodes out there on a flat surface. And I didn't do a very good job of creating this S. But you could always play around with the shape tool. But he gets the idea. I don't know. You could put a bridge across here. If you can get away without that bridge, I would do it. And it's gonna be more than just metal, because he evidently is gonna ought to ask permission to put his website on here, because he's got like some brush strokes and stuff he's drawn out, so that'll look like that. Anyway, I hope that just gave an idea, and thank you for watching.